with us today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Had something going on. I apologize. It said the podcast had started. I came back in and it looked like we were about 7, 8, 9 minutes and something like that. And it still said start the podcast. So for those who were waiting to get in, I do apologize. It means probably our numbers are down. Today's been a really weird day. Not weird, it's just stuff we deal with. But I don't know if that was a device issue or a Kofi issue and I just missed something. If so, I apologize once again. It was not my intention to leave anybody out. Hopefully you guys are able to get something out of today. And I apologize for you guys missing a little bit of the praise and worship that we normally have going on as we get ready to get started. So once again, it was not my intention for that to happen, but it is what it is. But hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you for being on. And I guess we're going to have to get it together. I know I'm out of practice a little bit, but stuff has been going on today. But it's a little out there. But we're thankful to the Most High Yah for another opportunity to be in front of you again. And hopefully you all are doing well all over the place, all over the world as you see this message, whenever you see it, whether you or hear it, whether you get this live or listen later on, whatever the case might be. All righty. So, and also as a reminder, at the top of the hour, at 11 a.m. Eastern New York time, we will have our Shabbat school for our children. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern New York time today, we will have our men's meeting. So all the brothers, you are invited to that, of course, as always, as usual. All righty. So let's see. So we're going to be talking about, and I'm not sure if I said this already. If I'm being repetitive, forgive me again. A little out of sorts, but we give our honor and praise to the Most High for my wife, the Honor of Maya, and we're thankful and grateful to the Most High for what He's doing in her business. You can always check her out on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N. Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. And thank you everybody for being on again. Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about Brick Lady. Just put our little 2 cents in this conversation. Brick Lady. What in the world is going on with this? Now, I'm not sure how many people are not familiar with Brick Lady. We kind of talked about it a little bit on the end of the last live session that we were doing. So if you want to get some information on that, you can look up what we talk about. It's on our Expect the Blessing series from the Roman Road. And it's today. The theme for today is what? Wow, that's how much word we have. It's give me a second. The theme for today, expect the blessing. The theme for today was. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a moment. We talked about Romans chapter 11, verses 24 through 27. The theme for today was talking about back to covenant. Thank you so much, Sister Shima. Thank you for I was out there struggling. Thank you, Sister Mignon. So that was the theme for today. And we talked about a little bit about this on there. So if you want some more information on it, you might want to go there to ascertain it. But basically what happened with her is that you had a situation that blew up really a lot. I don't know how many months ago at this point, but basically blew up where there was a sister who came out and said that she was attacked by a guy who had asked her for her number. She declined the person her number, and when she declined this person her number, he hit her in the head with a brick. And this became a really crucial thing because there were some gaps that people had, and there was a side that argued, was it true, was it not? I'm all honesty, and I'm recorded as saying such. I didn't really say she did or didn't do it. I just said I could see either side, and I said that people are kind of jumping to conclusions because they want to protect the Black woman. Hey, at least that's commendable, right? And I said on the other side, if it was Black men that watched her get hit in the head with a brick, hey, that shows our lack of character and we can do better. So you could say that I was straddling the fence. I'll give you that one if that's what you believe, right? But we did talk about it to a certain degree. And what happened, come to find out, is that this sister was in fact lying. Not only was she lying, she was big time lying. Like she basically made most of it up. She did in fact get hit in the face, but that wasn't actually what what ended up happening. It wasn't that she got hit in the face. That was the issue. She didn't get hit in the face with a brick. She was not outside. She was not outside around other brothers, and for those other brothers to protect, because that was even part of the conversation was, hey, where should we protect our sister? Should we protect them anywhere? If she's not my family, should I protect her? If she's clearly in some kind of really toxic relationship, should I protect her? Whatever the case might be. Okay, she's from Houston. Okay, cool. So she's from H-Town. I didn't know that. Right. So, but she was going through all these different things, right? And we started realizing real quick out of the situation that not only had she lied about that situation where she was inside a car, she was attacking the guy. She had actually came to the guy trying to holler. The guy didn't take on her advances. She starts attacking him in the car. The guy uses a water bottle and attacks her. And by the way, all this stuff is on video. So this is not something that's random. Like, this is on video where the police officers who have no skin in the game. Matter of fact, the guy even admitted, he said, hey, I'm a black man in America, and you're dealing with Me Too movement and all this stuff. So I'm a black man supposedly hitting the black woman. He's like, I'm surprised I was not only arrested, but I was beat up. I wasn't beat up. Yeah, so she would have probably been okay. But then she made that GoFundMe page. And when she did that, that's when it went to a place of being illegal, because you can't lie in order to, right? Or at least you can't do what's considered to be lying. Now, there is some of this that's racially charged. My wife even brought this out, and I have to be honest about it, right? We got to be honest about the fact, I get it. I didn't disagree with her, but I wasn't necessarily trying to hear all that, because you lie, but I get it, where we can't dismiss the fact that this is a black woman, and we just saw with Amber Heard, somebody do this and no jail time, et cetera, right? She had her name raked across the coals. Sure, she's lost the ability to make millions of dollars off of movies now, but she's not, definitely didn't get in prison, which you would have thought somebody would have gotten, especially if they cut somebody's finger off and stuff like that. So there is an element of that is not lost on me. And the people who say that I don't care about this woman, that's not the case at all. I actually pray for her. I prayed for her. I pray that she gets herself in alignment with some things. But once again, this is why law is important. So we have Brick Lady here, who is known as Brick Lady because she said she got hit in the face with a brick. She was not hit in the face with a brick. She was hit with a water bottle. The police believe that possibly because the water bottle was what left the mark on her face, but there is also evidence that she might have possibly had that mark on her face before she met the guy. Okay, so she could have showed up to the club like that. There is also evidence that this is not the first time that she's manipulated the public and has, I don't know if she did GoFundMe's before, but she has definitely lied and said certain things happened and gotten paid for things in the past. Right now, we have to have a very interesting, like, if we can. You said, yeah, the world will jump on anything that'll bring us down. Yeah. So here's the problem with this situation. Hey, how you doing, babe? Once again, my wife is on, the Honorable Maya. Check her out on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. So here's one of the things that can't be lost on us and lost in this conversation, right? We gotta be consistent. Okay, we gotta be consistent. I comprehend that. We gotta be consistent, right? So as we're talking about being consistent, here's what we have to also do. All right, in our being consistent, we have to make it a point to say, okay, what is the dynamic that's going on as far as everybody around the world? What is the dynamic to where we're allowing this to be something that's in our community, to where this was even allowed to get to a place, right? How do we allow an environment, as we were talking about the precepts and the environments, so people would be able to say that this is something that we're supposed to allow to happen, that it's okay for us to get to a place to where if a black woman said it, it must be because a black man did it. If a black man did it, it's because we hate black women. Right. This is part of the conversation that we have to have. People are still only having the conversation, like almost every single one now, just like before when she was coming out and saying, black men, you ain't nothing, you didn't protect me, this and that, or whatever. Right. Yeah, the narratives were building. Right. So when she came out, yeah, see, you black men, you ain't this, you ain't that, because you didn't do anything. You would not protect me. And y'all are punks, y'all are soft, da, 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 da. Everything that came out at that time was, hey, wow, this is so terrible, this and that. And we stood up, all the stuff that was coming out basically was people from that side, that it's all misogynistic and black men ain't nothing and we need to get together and we need to be better and and that was the only narrative that you heard out there. On the flip side, now that she's gotten called out, the only narrative you're hearing is from now the men who were telling you that we shouldn't believe black women at all, and I'm tired of this, and all the black men should be listened to first before black women, and if a woman doesn't bring value to you, and red pill, and now we're hearing the other side, rather than why is it still separated. This has done nothing more than just show us how separated we are. And now one side is just happy she's going to go to jail. One side is like, hey, don't put her in jail. And yes, she did something wrong, but she shouldn't have any consequences. But what's the middle? Right? Is there any kind of bridge? Is there any middle ground? Is there a point to either of these sides if all we're going to do is just use her to be the very next thing? It's like when people talk about the Israel experience and what's going on with Gaza versus Israel, the Gaza Strip, Israel, Hamas versus Israel, etc. What's going on there? The only thing that's really going on there is what? The only thing that's really going on in that narrative is it's just another reason for the two to fight, and stuff will not calm down, but stuff will go back to what it used to be, and as far as what it's always been. And when we don't need this to be the thing that causes division, so that people won't pay attention to what your governments are actually doing, they'll just keep doing the same thing. This is a fight that's going to happen when you guys stop talking about it. When you stop giving money to Israel or to Gaza or to whoever, guess what? It'll go right back to being the same thing. Right? They live this every day. There's children that have been living in Gaza Strip that have been blinded, literally, where troops will walk over and for fun blind the child, literally poke eyes out of the child, and we'll go right back to the other side and just laugh about it, and you'll just have a child that's blinded. And if that child grows up with hatred in their heart, everybody will say, see, people who are Hamas, they just hate people. Or you'll see people on the Gaza Strip who will be like, hey, well, you know what? All the Israelites, they're terrible. They all believe in the same thing. And so they'll grow up believing that, and they'll start attacking the other side. And nobody will say, hey, what if there's people in Israel who are actually standing up and saying they don't like what Israel is doing? You know that exists over there. Or maybe you don't, because you think every single modern Israelite is somebody who's evil. Right? And so we have to recognize that this is kind of the same thing that's going on here. It's the same spirit, right? But this is happening in our Israel, in the Israel, where we have something that is a stumbling block to us. This is Balaam doctrine, right? All this is a stumbling block, right? It's designed to be scandalous. Remember, even Christ was called scandalon. That word offense there in the last verse of or the last couple verses of the last verse of Romans chapter 9, it says that Christ was an offense. That word offense is he was a scandal. He was scandalous. To be in Christ was they had to cause scandals, right? Christ had to have a scandal attached to him. He had to be blasphemous in order to get rid of him. You can't just get rid of Christ. As much as you say, oh, well, they were able to get rid. Think about how long it took for them. That man was around 3.5 years. That man was already questioning stuff when he was 12 years old. That man had lived in Kemet and had knowledge, right? That man was dark as it gets. That man was truthful. That man had never sinned. He came out, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit showed up. He preached the Sermon on the Mount not too long after he was baptized and came out of the wilderness and was already preaching the word all over the place. That wasn't his first message. That's just the message that we like to we really, really like, right? It might be like a staple of his, if you want to call it his ministry, but it's not the only thing he did. And yet, right? And yet, when we get to the Sermon on the Mount, what is he doing? He starts speaking a whole lot differently. And they say, man, this man is speaking with somebody who has authority. He's speaking different than something we've had. The scribes and the Pharisees, they've been here. And so what did they have to do? They had to start devising a plan. They had to start trying to find ways to get rid of Christ. But that didn't happen overnight. He had a following that was bigger than Israel, because not all Israel is Israel. Right? And you got to realize and recognize that this thing is bigger than just Israel, but also they're using other people, they're using other things to try and get you and I to be Israelite man versus Israelite woman, man versus woman. We don't need each other. Yeah, I can see that as a child, he wasn't a threat. When he got older, he was a threat. They didn't think as much of him. Right. So Christ is somebody who it took a long time. This is every day. Do you know there are people, this is going to mess with somebody. When it comes to Brick Lady, there's somebody out there, Brick Lady, when she did this, there's somebody who looks for Brick Ladies. Might I say that to you? There's somebody out there who looks for Brick Ladies. There's a person out there who literally just looks for people to go ahead and try and get at. You might not be aware of that. There's somebody who's hired on the payroll, right? Remember, we've even listened to people who were former FBI or former CIA, and we listened to them literally tell you how they feel terrible and stuff, and how they feel like traitors, and they only knew it was a matter of time before somebody took them out, whether they told the truth or not. So they started telling you the truth about different things that were in COINTELPRO, and they were giving you things about where stuff was located. They were giving you names of who did what. There are people who were hired to cause dissension in the ranks. So they look for people like her. If you did not know, right? They look for the next Brick Lady. Who is the next person we can use? They look for a Lizzo. Lizzo is talented, but you think Lizzo is the most talented? You think Lizzo is the best dancer? You think Lizzo's music is the best music to ever exist? I'm not saying that Lizzo is very talented, right? But they were looking for Lizzo. How they knew they found Lizzo? When they really comprehended, when they really understood who Lizzo was and what she could do to cause dissension in the ranks and cause a whole confusion to come on, right? When they really knew they needed to see if they could purchase her soul was when they knew that she was a world-class flautist and at the same time would twerk. Right? Before you get into the whole, what do they call it? BBW, right? Conversation, all that stuff, whatever it is. Before you get into the thick and this and that, and well, who cares if you're fat and don't body shame? And even though she ended up body shaming, so she doesn't even believe in her own message, right? But still, before you even get into all that stuff, they knew that they had somebody when they said, wait a minute, so she's a world-class flautist, she got skills, and at the same time she'll twerk. Oh, that's perfect. That within itself, right? Two opposite views, right? It's a conflict within oneself. To be a great classical artiste and at the same time be somebody who's clapping them cheeks, right? This is when they knew. When they knew that they had Sexy Red. Is it Sexy Red or Trippy Red? I'd be forgetting which one. I think it's Sexy Red, right? Is the girl right there? My coochie pink, my booty hole brown girl. When they knew when they had her? They knew when they had her when, wait a minute, so you don't care what we tell you to say. Matter of fact, you don't care saying whatever. Like, you'll just say whatever. Like, yeah, I'll say whatever. So wait a minute, like we can have you say that, like she's gone and done interviews where people have asked her stuff, and they'll say, hey, what's the next thing? I mean, you can do. What's next for Sexy Red? And she'll say, oh, well, the only thing next, is just me doing a porno on me, basically like having this happen in the porno to me, this and that, whatever. And you listening to her, right? That's what they knew. Like, before you get into all the other stuff, they were looking for this thing of there's somebody out there who's hired to look for that, right? There's somebody hired to look for that. We make fun of the people who play these tropes, but they got to figure out, oh, will you do anything? See, the first thing they're looking for is, will you do anything? We'll put you in a show to where you're going to be the worst representation of Black folk ever. And you'll complain about it later on if we allow you to even get to a level where you can complain about it. But you complain about it, but real talk, will you do anything? I don't think people even think about that. We talk about how bad they treat the woman, but see, there's a woman out there who's they're searching for, who will be nothing more than a scene in, I don't know what movie was that with Tom Cruise back in the day when he was a lawyer or something like that. And there's a scene where there's just two girls who literally they just been hired to be buck naked on a rated R film and show their vagina as they walk out. Right. But if that's all you'll be, there's somebody who's looking for that. They're hired to find that. You said grandmama would say, Lord have mercy. Yeah. They're looking for that. That's what they're looking for. They're looking at, will you do anything? If you'll do anything, then hey, Right? They do this all the time. They'll have these musicians come up and all this. They try to see if people do this, and then they say, okay, will you go behind the curtain? Will you go behind this door? That's the side. That's the question. The person knows, the musician knows, if you've been in the music game long enough, you got to that level, you know that if you go behind that door, there's something you're gonna have to give up. I'm not even talking about necessarily just the booty hole, right? Which is what people think we're talking about only, right? But there's certain things. You've been in the game long enough. You know, when they say, will you go behind the door? They're asking you, will you change up? Right? When they have you sign the 360 deal and stuff like that, where all the money goes back to them, right? What would you not do? Will you sign? Matter of fact, here's the deal for most people. And this is not just with music contracts. This is with your car contract. This is with your rents. This is with your mortgage and stuff. People sign contracts and don't even read them. That's what they're looking for. Have you ever done this? Anybody like me, where you read the contract, you try to read every part of the contract. You don't care if it's over a receipt, you try right, or anything at a fast food joint. You don't care what you read every part of the contract. You get the card thing, and people be like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about that. All this says is that." And I used to do that too. You're trained to do that. Back then, I didn't think about why they train us to do that, but you're trained to go, "Hey, oh yeah, don't worry. This is just saying this, that, whatever, whatever." And then sometimes I would get irritated because I'd be like, why has the person read? But then I stopped getting irritated because I was like, that makes sense. Why wouldn't the person read to make sure that what I'm saying is the truth? Right. But that's what they look for. They have somebody who's on staff. They have people who are on staff. They have staff set up to ensure that they're looking for people who don't care what they sign up for. And give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. Salah. So we have to be ready for we have to be ready for this stuff. Right? Are you ready? Like somebody who's ready. And I'm saying all that when it comes back to Brick Lady, because there was somebody for her. And when she put her stuff out there, you have to realize, watch this now, right? When Brick Lady puts her stuff out there, how many, maybe she had 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 followers. I don't know. But I will say, y'all didn't know who she was before she did the whole brick thing. That means somebody had to set up the algorithm. And what they do is they tell us a lie. Well, the algorithm just is a reflection of what you want. And we only put, no. There's certain things on the algorithm that they don't want to be out there. Who sets up the algorithm? The algorithm is not setting up itself. As much as I'd like to just go ahead and give into it, this is not Terminator, where the algorithm is just doing whatever it wants. It's not the Matrix, to where you're just living in the algorithm. To a certain degree, it is, sure, but somebody is still, we're not there yet. So somebody's still telling the algorithm, somebody's still putting in, hey, if this person has long locks, we don't like that as much, right? This thing is still saying, hey, if this person uses certain language, if they don't say they, them, but they say he, her, if they say he or her, if they say or him or her, if they say he or she, and they don't say they or them, the algorithm is set up. That's why a lot of people set up their language the way it is. That's why, even to be honest, you guys will see me on the live session and you'll hear me say stuff instead of saying, like when the Bible says dead, you'll hear me say unaligned or things like that, because I recognize the algorithm then starts looking to see if they can restrict us further. And so rather than making it hard for certain people who might not even be on yet listening to us, I can see some of that because I know I'm in there culture, right? If I'm reading the scripture, you'll hear me say what the scripture says, but then if I start talking about it, you'll hear me use other adjectives, right? In like a synonymous way, right? To ensure that we have or even like in a way of like using like a thesaurus type thing of using another word to be able to get there. But somebody's hired to find this. Right? Isn't that amazing that there's a lot of people who look for the word of Yah, but you can't find actual word. You can find stuff that's topical. You can find our God is an awesome God, he reigns. You'll find that over and over again. Why? Because that makes money, and that's not really talking about anything having to do with the Most High Yah. It's just something that's nice. It's cute. We come together on it, and people who don't even believe will listen to that. Sure, let's go ahead and give that. But when you start talking about his name is Yahweh, and you say Elohim, right? It's an awesome Yah, he reigns. From Shamayam to Arats with quiz or something like that, they'd be like, "Oh no, we're not trying to." That's not going to get views. right? That's not going to get you what you want. And not only that, it's not going to get you views because that's not what's wanted to be viewed. So now we have to go back to Brick Lady. Do they want us to view Brick Lady? Did they want you to view that? And let's be honest about this too. Let's also be honest. On the opposite side, when they told you she was lying, they told you she was telling the truth. The same people that told you to tell the truth then set up the algorithm to tell you she was lying, which means that they never cared whether she was telling you the truth or lying or not. They cared that she caused distraction and dissension. She caused division in Israel. She's a stumbling block. She's Balaam doctrine. She's a prophetess. She was paid. She's Balaam, right? In another generation, she was paid to cause you to have a stumbling block. Come on, somebody, right? She was paid to give you the same doctrine. Are you catching what I'm saying? Right? She was paid. You got to say to yourself, the same algorithm that says that all we wanted to see was men be bashed is also the same algorithm that was used to show you that all we want is for her to get her her comeuppance. The same algorithm, the same TikTok, the same YouTube, the same Instagram, the same X or the same Twitter, the same place that's red pill and blue pill, the same environment that made her viral because black men hate black women is the same environment that made her go viral because black women hate black men. This is why they cannot be our standard. This is why we have to get over this thing that Russ says. And now a lot of us, this is when we get outside of our culture because we want what they have, which is we want the views. Right. I've told you before, I didn't do what I did last time. I could do what I did last time and say, hey, let's go ahead and just have let's go ahead and make money off of YouTube. Let's make a whole bunch of money off of TikTok. Let's make money off of Facebook, Instagram. They've been pressuring us to do so. They'll even every once in a while, a video blows up more than what the other ones do. And then I'll get a message like, see, you should just go ahead and go to AdSense and advertise and do this. But if I do that, then you're under what? You're under the authority. That's how we got messed up last time is now the World Health Organization can come in and say, we don't like the fact that you told people not to go ahead and get shots. Hey, YouTube, take them off. And YouTube says, hey, we got to be obedient. That's who pays the bills. Right. And we, like we said earlier in the live session today, whoever's paying their bills or whoever you're paying your bills, whoever you're tied to, whoever you're in an environment with, guess what? That's who you're all in. If you're in the system, you all in. If you're holding on to the system more than you're holding on things of the Most High, it's going to be difficult to separate. Well, here we go. A lot of our brothers and sisters, they want to come out of being in the world. Supposedly, they don't want to be in the system. They don't want to be controlled. Okay, cool. Praise Yah. We're thankful that you don't want to be controlled. I'm thankful to the Most High that you don't want to be controlled. Okay. Question for you though, and all you're not wanting to be controlled. Question, if we be honest, just honest question. In your not wanting to be controlled, why is it so easy to control you? What you mean? Well, okay. You don't want to be controlled. I'm with you. Okay. You don't want to be under control. You want to be free. You are free. All these different things. Problem is, though, you saw that sister girl being attacked is going to get you a bunch of views. So you had to put out an attack video against sister girl. You didn't care one way or the other, but you attacking her. Now, this is where I do have to agree with the conscious leads of the world and others who came out that you don't care about this. You care that it gets you views, right? If it didn't get you views, you wouldn't put it up. You said social media has replaced Maury Povich. Yeah, for real, right? That's why you put it out. And the same thing before. You didn't care that a guy hit her in the head with a brick. Right? You care that there's enough people who do care that if you post it, you'll get views. This is why a lot of people are led in social media. If you look at the stuff now, social media, we really don't get views at all. We don't really put out that much material other than to say, hey, catch this event, make sure we're doing this, make sure we're fasting together, we're praying together, stuff like that. Outside of that, you don't really see us, putting much content out anymore, at least in that fashion. Matter of fact, it'll be advertising for more for something else that we want to put somebody else's stuff out there, we want to make sure people are aware of it and that people who are in our community can see it and say, hey, yeah, we should support that. We should look out for this. It's very rare now that I come on and give a message on TikTok or come on and give a message to answer a question or go against somebody who mad at me or whatever. I don't even have time for it, to be honest. Even if I wanted to, I don't even have the time to do it anymore. Maybe at some point we'll have other people who are, with us. Maybe they'll start doing it. Maybe we'll let them go ahead and start doing it or something, give them a chance, and then they can start growing on their platform and stuff too, off of that. Who knows? But I'm saying all that to say this: you don't have to even worry about the algorithm, because what the Most High has for us is for us. I stop worrying about how many people are going to watch. And I miss it because there's a lot of people that are family and great people to me, like even people, I'm talking about people of other nations, like Ireland, before everything went down. And then before we had to change the stuff, before they canceled the stuff, we were about to go over to Ireland and had everything. And I mean, I'm talking about no lie. My wife can tell you, and some of you were there when this happened, because I was telling the truth about the ties between Ireland and Native Americans and the tie between Ireland and West Africa and stuff like that. The Irish loved us. Right. And, we're like, yo, when y'all coming over? And then 2020 hit, and then a lot of that stuff went, and then they canceled, both two TikTok channels basically back to back. So then we kind of lost momentum. But seriously, and we even built up people over there who became famous. And the first people who were coming over to SOC, a lot of them were Irish people who had come over to America. And we're actually taking classes before even our own people caught up and started taking it. It was actually others of that diaspora. However, when we had to readdress everything, we kind of lost contact with it. So because I'm not only on here, Ireland, and look at this and blah, blah, and look at this and seeing it. And now, of course, it's not a big deal for the marching and stuff and everything that was going on with Black Lives Matter. We kind of lost the stuff. But I'm saying all that to say this is that even with me not having that relationship and those things getting us automatic numbers from a whole country that was down with this. And I'm serious. Even people there were very few people, like we had a lot of cats from Ireland who were literally FaceTiming us, trying to call us through IG, calling us on Messenger, like doing all types of stuff, like just trying to get in contact with us or whatever. It was crazy, like several times a day I had to stop what I was doing because somebody else, hey, can I just talk to you? And we just want to tell you, like, we think you're a boss. And if you come over here, you'll have a place to stay. And then, I mean, the same stuff that our diaspora does. Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. It's the second, Ireland, as far as a nation, is the second greatest nation I've ever seen as far as hospitality outside of Ghana. And I mean that. Seriously. Hopefully our nation, Israel, will get to that point. And I believe SOC is really the best. But right, if you want to really put it there, I can say we're number one as far as what I've seen. But you might say I'm biased. But those are the greatest I've seen, Ghana and Ireland. All that being said, though, that's not what I'm led to post. Right. And I understand, though, if I played that stuff, matter of fact, I still have people who follow me who are very popular. And if I were to start putting some of that stuff out, they'd probably give me play. Right. But then you got to start asking yourself, is that what you're led to do? I'm saying all those things, if you haven't caught it, to get us to a place of what? To get us to a place to where we have to recognize that these people who are asking or who are posting this stuff, they want you to be focused on this. You hear what I'm saying? They want you to focus all your attention and your anger and your finances and things like that to this. Right. This sister who got 42,000 just on, she had more, but she got it just to GoFundMe. She got 42,000. She got 42,000 because we were so into being anti-man and anti-woman within our own community. It was easy. It was easy for them to put it out there. They understood that if they put her out there, they knew that we were already going to be drawn in hook, line, and sinker. They've used this bait enough. So what I'm saying is what if we make a decision? What if you and I promise each other today? What if we decide that we shall not hate each other just because we're Black man and Black woman? What if we say, exactly, we got to stop falling for the bait or even being their bait? Come on, Auntie Mary, that's even better. Stop being their bait, right? What if we make a decision that you're not going to put me on the hook for anything? I'm not going to be on the hook. I'm off the hook. Literally. I'm off the hook. I'm off the chain. Right. If you say I'm on one today, fine, I'll be on one, but I'm not going to do it. I will not be. Right. Regardless. Now, if somebody does something that's real, I think we should call out what's real. right? I'm not saying what happens in this house stays in this house, because that's what's happened with a lot of us. We got to start calling stuff out. But hear what I'm saying. I will not be your reason. I've had people try to get me in on this. Or you know what, you know, black women, blah, blah, whatever. Come on, Pastor Kofi, you know this and that or whatever. And they try to appeal to the places to where, like, sure, my childhood and me standing up for things and righteousness and them calling you a nerd and blah, blah, and all that. They try to get you to this place of, see, women ain't nothing, blah, blah. They try to appeal to these places. But the reality is that was a perverted place. That wasn't even a righteous environment. And I can't sit up there and say that the things that were happening in an unrighteous environment should make their way into a righteous environment. That's why I do not want to be right. I want to be righteous. You see, I do not want to be right. I'm not worried about whether you think I'm correct or right. I want to be righteous. Am I in right, lawful standing under the Most High? And I understand his principles, his principalities, his ways, his kingdom, his statutes, his commandments, his environment. If I do that, then I'm going to be righteous in everything. And that's ultimately what the goal is it not? The goal is to be righteous in everything. Brick Lady is just another microcosm. She's just another study that we can use to see how easy it is to cause us to fight against each other rather than be there for one another. That's how she's just another study to see how easy it is to get us to be against the other. That's it. She's another study to show us how easy it's not that difficult, right? This is going back to Willie Lynch's speech. December 25th, Christmas Day of 1712, he was already teaching Virginians who were going to become your presidents and all that stuff. He was already teaching them how to make sure that they kept this stuff consistent and how to get you against each other. Man versus woman, older against younger, plantation against plantation. We're Brooklyn now. H-Town, man of the D, you know, Chi-Town's finest, man, Oaktown, stand up. What y'all know about the 404? Right? What you know about 808? What you know about, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in the 303, 313, put your mother hands up and follow me. I mean, it's right. It's the same nonsense. And then we say to ourselves, how are we so divided? Then those same people who made their money, Balaam doctrine, got paid in gold, Balaam doctrine, for doing this to us. Then they turn around and say, man, I don't know why we so separated, man. Nah, I mean, son, we got to come together, son. We got to stop acting like this. But literally, everything in your lyrics is Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan, this, that, the third. Like, all Brick Lady was just the next set of stuff, right? That's all she was. I just realized that we're almost at the end of our time. We got to get ready for our children today. So we thank y'all for being on. We appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Brothers, we do have to meet up later at 7:00 p.m. Eastern New York time. So we hope to see you guys then for our men's meeting. I got to double check in our schedule with Minister Morrell and Minister Stephen. I'm not sure which one is up for teaching, but we'll see you guys today, or it might even be me. I got to double check. I got a message ready, but I'm not sure. This is why we got so much stuff going on. We praise y'all for the help. So we'll try to get this stuff together ASAP for you guys. Sisters, don't forget, I think there were 11 sisters that were on the meeting on last Saturday, and said they were interested in stuff for the cruise. So I think there's going to be more information given to you. Also, too, if you are going to be part of it, it's not just, let us know if you're interested in going, but there's also going to have to be a certain amount of stuff that's going to have to be paid. And I think, to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you, even if only a few of y'all went on, you should go ahead and go together. But why not? I'm sorry. It looks like we had somebody try to call in. I can't get the phone call thing to work. Hold on one second. If you were trying to call and try again, for some reason I can't get. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I don't know if you were trying to call in or not. We just got a few minutes, and then we got to get ready for Shabbat school for the children. So I don't know if you were trying to call in or not. We're trying to let you on. If you were, if it was an accident, then that's cool too. But I wasn't able to get you on for some reason. My app was acting up. So if you want to come on, we sent you an invite back. But thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. We look forward to talking to you soon. Hopefully all is well with you. We hope that you guys take care. Thank you again, by the way. It's been a few days now since I had a chance to do so, but thank you again for helping out the family. We were able to bless them and give them more than enough from on Thursday. So we thank you for helping them to get on track. And they're very thankful and grateful to be able to stay warm in this season. And we thank you guys. You guys have been on it. We were able to help quite a few families. We had a few families even now that are able to get work and get a job and stuff like that. And because you guys helped them to kind of keep things afloat. They had another family that was getting ready to be kicked out, and it was headed to court and stuff. So you were able to head that off. Just a lot of different things y'all have been doing for each other. Of course, for my family as well. You know, we don't take that lightly. But thank you all for being on. We appreciate you. We're gonna get ready to take our leave. Once again, at the top of the hour, so just a few minutes, we'll see those who are going to be in Shabbat school for our children who are coming up behind us. We'll see. We'll also look for those who are going to be in. And later on, we'll see the men at 7:00 p.m. Eastern New York time. So thank you again. We give all honor and praise to the Most High. We give all praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Maya, who lives a life that's able to be honored. You can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. And we thank you guys for being on. Once again, we appreciate you and thank you for all that you do. And we'll talk to you guys later. Remember, as always, that you are loved, you're necessary, you're majestic, you're fearfully, wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shabbat shalom, peace. Talk to you soon. All right.